for coming to my channel and clicking on this video. This is the third video in my fall craft series, and oh my goodness, I am so in love with this project. You are not going to believe how this is made, and you're going to want to make so many of them. It is so cute and so easy. And I'm using the most adorable paper collection you'll ever see in your life. So this is the collection that I used for this project, and it's again called Cider and Donuts by Simple Stories. I'm going to link it below so you can go over and get it, but stay tuned to the end of the video because I have kits that I'm going to be offering with that paper and everything I used here, even like the cute fluff and everything. So just wait until you see how beautiful this paper actually is. So if you haven't guessed it already, we're going to be making this adorable envelope mini album or junk journal, whatever you want to call it. It's full of pockets. It's full of the most gorgeous paper. I'm going to do a quick flip through of what we're going to be making, but I'm going to wait till the very end of the video to show you like the details, like what I put in all the pockets and things like that. Okay, so first of all, this is made using A7 envelopes, and I'm using these ones from the Paper Studio, and these are like a rusty orange color. So pretty. And this is my front cover. I decorated it and I love it so much. I used that beautiful gold leaf trim. I'll go over all the details once we do the tutorial. There's pockets on all the pages and beautiful areas for journaling and pictures. I even made some cute embellishments, and you'll see that in the tutorial also. And then there's goodies in all these pockets. So like there's goodies over here and over here. This is seriously so easy. I give you all the measurements and we make it together. So over here I have cute things just clipped in, and I made this tag and it is so pretty. And the kit comes with everything to make this tag as well. So easy. And then this is the cool part because this is the page with the fluff on it. And I use these cute bakery bags. They're these right here with the little window. And so I just made a pocket on the front. There's goodies in those pockets as well. And then you flip it, and it's a top loading pocket, and there's goodies in there, and you can see through the window. And then I just decorated it, and then here's the next page. There's goodies in there. So this is made with 6 envelopes and 2 of those little paper bags. Here's the next page. How pretty. I put a journaling card in there, and then this little flip tag. Here's the next page with our next paper bag in this beautiful spot for a photo. Again, goodies in this pocket. I added some ruffle trim, and we do this on the video. It's so easy. Another one of these bags with goodies inside. And then a little journal spot. And then here's another pocket with tags. And then the last page has a pocket, and there's stuff in there as well. And then here's the back. So the spine is like this, and it's completely made from, again, just the envelopes and then a couple of those little bags. And I used the elements from the collection, like the die cuts and the enamel dots and stickers. And it turned out so cute, and it's so easy to make. So if you want to make this, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is everything you'll need to make one of these cute fall envelope albums. Of course, first up is 6 of these A7 envelopes, and these are the ones I got at Hobby Lobby. So here they are, and they're like a burnt orange color, and I love this color. It's perfect for this collection. So those are the 6 envelopes we'll be using. And then I'm using these 2 cute craft bags, and I just got these in a pack, I think of 12. Let me see. Yeah, I got this in a pack of 12, and it's just from Walmart in like the little bakery craft section. So we're using 2 of those bags. You can use anything you want for this. If you just have like the plain flat brown bag, that's fine. Or you can skip those altogether. So then for the paper, the first thing you'll need are 6 pieces of scrapbook paper. These don't have to be double-sided because we're just going to glue it down, so these can be single-sided. I'm using the Cider and Donuts collection, so that happens to be double-sided. So this is 6 pieces that measure 5 by 7. Then next is 6 pieces that measure 3.5 by 7. And then for the envelope flaps, you're going to need 11 pieces that measure 7.25 by 2. So for the hinges, I'm using this like heavier quality printer paper in craft. So you're gonna need 6 of these pieces that measure 6 by 1.5. Okay, so now that I have everything cut down and ready to go, let's get started on this super easy tutorial. So I put the scrapbook paper aside and we're gonna assemble the album first, and then we're gonna mat all the pages with the pretty paper. So this is so easy, and this is what I find to be the easiest way to do it. So the very first thing we're gonna do is take one of our envelopes and open it up to where you see this natural fold line right here. And this is the only scoring we're gonna do. So just stick it in your paper trimmer. You don't even have to have a scoreboard for this. Just stick it in your paper trimmer to where this fold line lines up with the 1/4 inch. So you're gonna line that fold line up at 1/4 inch. So I'm just using like this little craft knife I have, and I'm using the other end of it. And I'm gonna gently score this at that 1/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna show you close up really quick, but be gentle with that because it's just envelope paper. So as you can see, there's where I scored it. So all I'm gonna do now is find that score line, and I'm gonna fold on that score line. So it creates just the littlest, tiniest gusset. It's a 1/4 inch gusset. You see that? So that's what it looks like. And this is actually going to be the little spine of the album. And it makes it so we can decorate, and it can get a little bulkier and chubbier. And so that's simple. Okay, so like I said, let's go ahead and assemble this. This is going to actually be like the front flap of your envelope album. So I'm going to choose this pretty mustard yellow color to go here. So this envelope is actually going to come in, and it's going to go under the flap like this, and they're going to be glued together to become your cover page. So I want to make sure that this one, I choose a print that coordinates with the envelope flap. I'm choosing this beautiful like purple and burnt orange color because those two colors look really good together. And that way this is kind of more subtle, and I can decorate the cover. So the first thing we need to do is cover this flap with this pretty paper. So the only thing we're going to do is just kind of open this up, and you're just going to add glue from that 1/4 inch score line that we made, and then we're going to cover the whole flap with glue. So you don't want to cover the gusset part, just cover it with glue from the score line we made to the edge. So I'm just going to go right along that edge with my Scotch adhesive. And then fill that in with the glue. So I had you cut these down to 7 1/4 by 2. So they're going to be a little bit bigger than the flap, and then we can just trim the excess. So all we're going to do is just make sure that we have this lined up right at that 1/4 inch score line. Lay it down, make sure the top and bottom are even, and then just lay it down on there, and it's all glued down. Just give it a nice press with your bone folder. And then when you turn it around, you can see where we need to trim. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Because those envelope flaps are a little bit at an angle on the sides, that's why I had you trim it this big, and then it's easier to just cut away the excess. Okay, so now, isn't that so pretty? It's all decorative, covered in paper. We don't have to cover this side because it's actually going to be glued down for the cover page. So you're going to take the solid side, and that is where the flap is on the right, and it's facing down. So you're going to tuck the flap under, and we're just going to cover this solid side with one of our 5 by 7 pieces, just like that. Leave just a little frame of that orange envelope around the scrapbook paper. Okay, Okay, so isn't that so pretty? So then we're just gonna take this and it's going to get glued right there, and that's gonna be your front cover of your album. Put this aside real quick, open up the envelope flap, and you're gonna add adhesive again, leaving that little 1/4 inch gusset free of glue. So the easiest thing that I have found is just to lay your cover down, meeting that 1/4 inch line. So not the original folded line, but the one that we made. So you're gonna lay this down, line it up with the top and bottom. It's gonna leave a little bit of a sliver, a 1/4 inch over here of the envelope exposed, but you're gonna line that up and then just close it up. So take your bone folder and really glue that down. And I'll show you what we have so far. So there it is, we just made our front cover. So as you can see, we have our little spine right here, and we glued that down right to the next envelope, and then it's gonna open like this, and then it has a pocket here and a pocket here. Just put that aside for a second, and you're gonna bring in your 6 hinge pieces. All we're gonna do with these 6 pieces now is fold them all in half long ways. So just make sure you have them evenly folded in half. Just like this. You can use your bone folder to help you. And we're gonna do that to all 6 pieces. So I have all 6 of my hinges folded in half. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna be hinging the next page to this envelope here. So this is the one where we just glued it down. It's the cover page. And so we're taking the right folded edge right here, and we're gonna line up the hinge centered at that fold, just like that. So take your hinge where the fold is at the left, and you're gonna just add adhesive to the top. So I like to open it up, and now it's on the right. We're just gonna add adhesive to that right side. So as you can see, I added adhesive over here. So when you fold this, the fold is at the left. And all you're gonna do is turn this over, now the fold's on the right, and center this from top to bottom and glue it down, meeting the edge of that envelope. Again, try to center it as best you can and glue that down. So we just glued the hinge down, and again, we only glued one side, so now it hinges out like this. And I'm just gonna take my bone folder, make sure that's really pressed down. So then we're gonna just grab our next envelope and make sure that you have the fold side on the left and the flap side on the right, and it's facing up. So you're gonna take it and line it up with this envelope from top to bottom, and then we're gonna hinge that. So we just need to add glue now to the top of this hinge. Okay, so again, bring your envelope in, make sure the folds are meeting each other and it's even with this envelope from top to bottom. So once it's all even on all sides, hold it still and close that hinge. So now we've got it glued down and the next page is connected. So see what we did? We just made it to now this page is connected. So I'm going to close it like that and just kind of press it with my bone folder. So let me show you what we have so far. So we have our cover page. You open it up and you have a pocket here. And then we also open this up and have a pocket right here. So we're gonna be putting this album together first and then matting all the pages with the scrapbook paper. So that's where we're at. So next you're gonna fold this over. This time we're gonna be adding our hinge and then adding our cute paper bag to go into our album next. So all you do is grab a hinge again and you're just gonna do the exact same thing. We'll line this up with the fold right here of the envelope to the fold of the hinge, center it from top to bottom, just like that, and then we're going to be bringing in our paper bag and just centering that, and we're going to hinge that in just like that. So remember, the first thing we do is just take our hinge where the fold is at the left, open it up like this, and put glue on the right side. So now that we've added glue to the right side, fold it back up, and you're going to bring it over to your envelope. And remember, folded side should now be on the right. So you can kind of see when you're doing the project where the other hinge is at, and use that as a guide to where you should glue this hinge. I know it's hard to see on camera, but you can see it when you're actually down here doing the project. So now we have that, and it's a little hinge in the works here, and I'm just gonna press that down, and then we're gonna add in our cute little paper bag. We're gonna do the same thing. You're just gonna take and add adhesive now to the top of the hinge right here. This bag is smaller than the envelope. So I'm taking the paper bag, and I know I wanna hinge it down kind of where the pocket meets. I know we're on the back side, but there's this like flap right here, and I want to make sure that I line it up with that. And I don't want the bag to be over the envelope, so I'm going to line the top up with the top of the envelope, and that's how I know kind of where to lay it. And lay that down on the paper bag. So I'm going to make sure we're good. Yep. And I'm just gonna burnish that down with my bone folder. Okay, so now we have our cute little paper bag all added and hinged in there. And this is coming along so nicely, I love it. So now you're gonna take your next envelope. Again, the flap is on the right, facing up, and we're gonna just hinge that in just like the others. So you're gonna actually add your hinge to the paper bag this time. Same way, you're gonna add it right there, add your envelope in, and hinge it right there. The next page is another envelope. So here it is. Our flap is facing up and on the right. And I'm gonna hinge this in the same exact way. Just like this. I wanted to show you, I of course I hinged our bag down, and then I flipped it over and I started to do the next hinge already. But because this is the back cover page, it's got that little gusset for the spine, of course. So instead of gluing it down like normal, like we have been like this, I want to go ahead and flip this over and actually place the envelope down on the hinge. That way we can line it up perfectly and it won't mess up our little spine. So I'm gonna grab it like this so I can see it, and just make sure that you're lining it up. Okay, so now I've got it down there. I'm just gonna press that down, and of course give it a nice press with my bone folder. So that's how we adhere the last envelope. And then of course, when we're all done, you close this and it wraps around really nicely because of our cute little spine right here, and all the pages end up all even. So the construction of our album is all done, and I think it's so easy, and it goes really fast once you get the hang of it. You can just like keep coming back to this video and just seeing how to put these together, and then before you know it, you're gonna just be able to do it so fast with our cute hinges. And now it's time to make it all cute and decorate it with paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab the rest of my 5x7 pieces. So I have 5 more of the 5x7 pieces, and these are going to go on the solid side of the envelopes. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the back cover, 5. So for the back cover, I think I want to use this mustard yellow to kind of match this flap right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one first. Okay, so I'm going to add this to my back cover. So I'm just going to open this up and make sure that I have it centered. Okay, so the back cover's on there. It looks really cute. So there's our back cover. So then I'm going to open this up and find the next page for the 5x7. So it's neither of these because these are only going to take the smaller panels. So the first one is going to be this one. And I just want to make sure I choose a good one. I'm going to do this cute plaid right there. And again, don't worry about this, how it looks kind of two-toned on here. We're going to cover that up with some scrap paper. Okay, so I've gotten all of the solid sides all covered and super cute. So now it's time to do the pocket sides. So that's where your pieces that measure 3.5 by 7 come in, and they're gonna cover the little panels right here where the pockets are. So, but go ahead and get out your 6 pieces that measure 3.5 by 7, and you're gonna go ahead and mat those panels. So you're gonna be about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch away from that pocket. And there you go. Just gonna go ahead and mat all the pocket pages the same way. All those pocket panels, super cute. I love this paper collection. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And there's the back page. So the next thing we need to do is cover our cute envelope flaps. So this is optional, you don't have to, but I think it looks so good to have like a pattern on pattern look. And I had you cut enough to do the front and back of the flap. So you don't have to do both, but I just thought it would be super cute to use these scrap pieces for that. So we have 10 pieces left because of course we used our first one right here. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I was telling you how to do this right. And I went ahead and covered these two off camera. So this is how it looks. Isn't that so cute how it's pattern on pattern? And we're gonna cover the back of the flaps as well. But let me show you on the next one how to cover the flap. And this is the easiest way that I have found to do it. So you're gonna take your page that you want on the flap. You're just gonna put glue where the envelope flap is, but you're gonna leave about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch free of glue on this edge. So I'm just gonna start about 1/4 of an inch away from that folded edge, and I'm just gonna add glue to this flap. So on this side, you wanna go all the way to the edge, and of course get the top and bottom, and then fill in the middle. So then take the page that you want to glue down on that flap, and you are going to line this up with the top and bottom of the full envelopes, because we cut this down to the same height as our envelope. So you're gonna take this all the way to this edge right here. And then of course line it up with the top and bottom of that orange envelope. And that's how you know that you're gluing it down perfectly. Because what that does is leave a little sliver of orange on this edge. And I'll show you how it looks. See, there's a little sliver of orange left right there. And so, once you have that glued down, go ahead and press it down with your bone folder. And then all we're gonna do is flip this over and cut away the excess paper. Super easy. Here's our cute little flap. So we're gonna do the exact same thing for the inside. I think I'll use this brown polka dot one. You're gonna leave about 1/4 inch free of glue on this folded edge, and then add your glue to the rest of the flap. So this side's a little more tricky because you don't have the envelope there to guide how to line it up at the top and bottom, but just try to eyeball it best you can. Line it up with that right edge. And we're gonna do the exact same thing on this one. We're just gonna cut away the excess. Okay, so now both sides of our cute envelope flap are all decorated, and it is so cute. So it kind of just breaks up all that orange, and now this pocket is really, really cute. And so I'm gonna do that to the rest of my envelopes. So once I get that done, I'll be right back to show you what we're gonna do next. So I did a few more things off camera. So let me first show you, I got all the flaps covered and the front and back. And then I'll come back to this little page in a second. But I got all these cute flaps covered with beautiful scrapbook paper. And then I told you that we were gonna clean up those paper bags a little bit. So let me show you, because this hinge is kind of showing and doesn't look that great. So I decided on doing something that kind of decorates it. So what I did is I added a 4x6 journal card right here to kind of cover up that hinge. And then to cover up this hinge, I used scrap of paper and some washi. And then I wanted to kind of even it out. So what I did is I made a little kind of tab page right here that hangs off the album because we're going to be adding some trim to that. So first let me show you how I did this. So we're going to do it on this paper bag as well. So all you're going to need is a 4x6 journaling card. I'm going to use this one, and it's going to be this way, and I'm going to have the top be a pocket. So that means all we need to do is glue the bottom and the two sides. Of course, you can decorate these bags however you want. This is just how I'm going to do it. So I glued all three sides, and then I'm just going to line that up where the hinge is showing. And I'm going to glue that down. So this glue here I'm using is actually this glue right here. I just put it in this cute little bottle. And this glue doesn't stick or stay tacky. So link both of those things below if you're interested. So now I can stick like goodies in here, and we're going to do that in a minute. But the next thing I'm going to do is add this little page right here. So this scrap of paper measures 2 by 6 1/4, and I already added the adhesive, as you can see here. So what I'm doing is I'm adding 1/2 inch of adhesive on both sides. And this is going to get sandwiched right here on this edge. So what I'm going to do is open it up and just place it down where the adhesive ends. So I'm showing you kind of where the adhesive is laying. It's right there, 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is go to this side, and I'm going to lay the bag exactly on the adhesive. So the bottom should line up right at the bottom of this scrap of paper, and just lay it down on that 1/2 inch of adhesive. And then all you need to do is close this up. So it's adding like a little paper tab to the side of our bag. Just kind of press that down. So when you close the whole album, it kind of sticks out. And we're going to be adding trim, so it adds a cute little touch to our album. So now on the other side, to get rid of this ugly hinge part, I just cut a piece that measures, I think 1/2 inch by 6. And I'm just going to make a little banner out of this. So all you do for that is just cut a little ways up the middle, and then from each corner, meet that cut. And then it makes a cute little banner. So I'm just going to glue that down a little ways away from the middle here. And then I'm going to add washi tape over it. So I have the washi tape from this collection. So this is the washi tape that comes with the collection. I'm going to be using the plaid one for this. I'm going to lay 2 pieces of 1/4 inch Scor Tape, a little bit shorter than our little banner that we just made. So right next to each other, so that makes 1/2 inch. Because washi tape needs a little help. It doesn't really stick that well. It's not permanent, so I'm just gonna, I layered it a little bit over the banner, so we do like a little layered effect, and place it over where that adhesive is. So it has like a decorative look with washi tape, but it's nice and secure with that Scor Tape. And then I just rip the bottom, and I really like that look, and then just burnish it down. So now we have a cute little decorative bag, and then we can put goodies in the bag, and it'll show through the little window. So that is all done. And now I'm going to show you what trim we're going to be adding. So I just pulled some pom-pom trim from my stash, and this is mustard yellow, and it'll go really well with the cover. See how that would look? Super cute, right? So all I'm going to do is just take this pom-pom trim and add some Fabri-Tac right here to glue it down. So I'm just going to use this Fabri-Tac and take the glue a little ways away from the edge, just a pretty light bead of glue, because this is really good glue. And this is good for fabric on paper. I really love using this. So I'll also link that below. But you can really use like Scor Tape with some wet glue. You can use whatever you have. Okay, so I'm gonna just take my cute pom-pom trim and I'm gonna line the actual fabric part down on the tab. And with Fabri-Tac, you gotta kind of press it down gently and let it dry. So once it dries, I'm gonna cut off the excess right here. So the flat part is gonna be where we close the book, and then the pom-pom will stick out, and it's so cute. And I got this trim when Joann's was open. Okay, so now that that's dry, I'm just gonna cut off the excess. So let me grab my scissors and I'm just gonna cut the excess off. Sorry if you can't see that. Okay, so isn't that so cute? Oh my gosh. I love how that turned out. So once you close the album, it's gonna stick out the side. Oh my goodness, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, so let's put some trim on this little page tab that we made. I do have this cute ribbon here, and maybe we could do like a ruffle look. So let me snip some of this off, and maybe we could do like a ruffle look with my tiny attacher. So I think what I'm gonna do is ruffle it and staple it and then glue it down. So just take your ribbon and, so let me do a little close-up on this. Okay, I zoomed in because I'm gonna show you how I'm doing this. So I'm just gonna take my ribbon and do like a little ruffle up like this and then staple. So we're just using staples instead of stitches, and I think it's super cute. That. And staple. So here's my little ribbon ruffle. It came out super cute, and the staples don't look bad at all. They look really cute, I think. So I'm just going to glue that down to our paper flap right there. Okay, so our ruffle and our trim is all dry, and I'm gonna do a quick little flip through here. Isn't this so adorable? And beautiful envelopes. And then here's our bag with the cute ruffle trim. And look how cute this is. So as you know, Simple Stories really puts out some beautiful cut aparts. So we're gonna fill this album up, and here's the 4x6 sheet. We got the 3x4 sheet. My favorite, the 4x4 and 2x2. I love the 4x4 images. And then there's more journaling cards here, and even a full tag sheet. So this is gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna cut a bunch of these apart and we'll fill the album up, and I'm also gonna focus on the cover. Why don't you sit back and relax, and I'm gonna decorate this and fill it up with goodies. finished my album. I am so happy with it. I love how it turned out. Here's a close-up of the cover. So you saw me, I think, do most of the cover. So I used several die cuts from the ephemera pack. This beautiful stack of books with the T on top is from the ephemera pack. So is this cute little banner, and I popped both of these up on foam adhesive. And then these 3 pieces here are from the ephemera pack, and so is this tag. And then I just added like a scrap of paper with a sticker that says I love fall. And of course, you know, my favorite gold leaf trim that I got at Michael's, I used right here. And I think it just kind of brings it all together. I used the enamel dots that came with the collection. They're kind of glittery on the cover. Here, here, and here. And I think it looks so beautiful. I love how this turned out. Let's go inside and I'll show you everything I put in the pockets and how I decorated. So we have this beautiful 4x6 journal card, and then another one, and then a tag. And then over here, I really love this page because I made this little journal spot right here. And all I did was I took one of the cut aparts from the collection, which is this piece here, and then one of the 2x2 little images, and I stapled it, and then I added some ruffle trim. And I just used this ribbon that I have in my stash right here, and I cut it in half. And I made this little ruffle trim, and then I glued it down. So there's the staples right there. So I thought that turned out super cute and a great way to use these little 2x2 images. And then in this pocket, I have a sheet of stickers. You can see that. A 4x4 journaling card, and then another 4x3. And those just get stuck right back in there. Again, there's so many cut aparts in this collection. I didn't even use near all that came with it. So you can really go crazy with this. Okay, this is one of my favorite pages because I made this really pretty tag, and I have this like vintage sticker on here. It's kind of like a vintage style fall sticker. There's either leaves, these little cute things, different little orange flower buds. They're all different, but this says falling leaves, and I distressed the edges with my distress ink, so it kind of looks aged. And then I added a bunch of the seam binding from MyScrapcabin Shop on Etsy. She has the best seam binding, if you haven't already heard me say that a million times. I'll link her shop below with my coupon code. And then I added one of those rose gold or brass eyelets to this. And then I just distressed the back so you can do like lots of journaling on there. And then I just put in 2 cute little cut aparts from the collection. This journaling card, and then this little 2x2, and I rounded the corners. So now we get to this cute page where I made the pocket out of that journaling card. And in here I just put 2 cut aparts, and this one's the 4x4. Just get popped back into there. And then of course this is the page where we did the cute pom-pom trim. And this page flips over, and it's so cute because you can see the image that you put inside there through the little window. So in here, oh my gosh, so I haven't decided if I'm going to be listing this completed one in my Etsy shop. But you will find out when this video comes out, and I'll have it linked below. But what I know for sure that will be in the Etsy shop is a very limited quantity of these. So let me show you quickly what you're gonna get in the kit. It's gonna be everything you see here with maybe a couple designs that differ. Okay, so the kit is going to come with everything you see here, plus I have more than I need to show you, but I'm gonna go through it quickly. You'll get 2 of the cute window bags, and of course 6 of those rusty orange envelopes, 6 of the envelopes. And then I'm including all the paper you need. So including the 6 pieces that measure 3.5 by 7. And remember, these are double-sided, so you can determine and choose what side you want to use. And then you get, of course, 6 of the 5 by 7 pieces. Again, they're double-sided. And I'm also including 1 chipboard frame that comes from this collection. So it's going to vary. They're all different. I'm including an entire sheet of these matte stickers that come with the Cider and Donuts collection. And then, of course, I'm including all 11 of the envelope flap pages. So 11, and again, they're double-sided, so you can decide what pattern you want. I'll include the cute pom-pom trim. I'll also include the trim that I used to make the ruffle. And then I'll include the tag and the eyelet. And to go along with the tag, you're gonna get 1 of these vinyl pieces. So you peel this off and it's clear vinyl, and it's how I made my tag and mine. So this one just happens to be like these red leaves, so pretty. So you'll also get a brand new roll of washi from the Cider and Donuts collection. You'll also get a variety of die cuts from the ephemera packs. And this is just an example of one of them. And I'm sure I'll be including way more than just this, but there's a little sample. Then each kit will also be coming with 1 of each of the cut apart pages. So you'll get the tag page. Okay, then you'll get an entire sheet of these journaling cards. And the entire sheet of the 4x4 and 2x2 images. And also the entire sheet of these 3x4 journal cards. And then you'll get the entire sheet of this 4x6 set of journal cards. So you're gonna get all that stuff. If I forgot anything, I'll include it for sure in the kit. But for the most part, this is what you'll be getting. And it is so cute, and just know that I might be cutting these down for better shipping, but you're gonna get the entire sheet. Then it just might be a little bit cut down. If these sell out, keep an eye out, because I might make some more kits with like another Simple Stories fall collection, or maybe like a Cartabella collection. I hope that you can snag one of these and make the album that we made together today. It was so fun. Stick whatever you want in all the pockets. Just the possibilities are endless. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there with me in this long video, but I hope you enjoyed the project and I hope you'll give it a try. I'll see you in the next fall video. Bye!